Last month, I had 8 books on my TBR. I fear I may not have completed it all. However, I still read a good bit, y'all. I still read a good bit. Happy sunrise, y'all. Welcome back to my channel, More Affirmative. As y'all know, we are at the end of the month. By the time I put this out, it'll probably be the start of July. Either way it goes. In June's TBR, I told y'all that I wanted to read all Sapphic books. Everything Sapphic related, I wanted to dive into, nosedive right on in, right? And I'm happy to say that I did complete a good chunk of that TBR. So in this video, I'm going to be going through every single book that I did get through. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to give you my feels, my opinions, my review on it. And of course, it's going to be non-spoiler because I don't want to spoil anything that y'all may be interested in getting into if you want to go in blind, okay? But let's go ahead and jump into it because I can't wait to talk about some of these books. We're going to kick this off with all of my physical copies. And if you saw my June TBR video, you know that I didn't have a lot of physical copies. I only had 3 for this month. So we're going to go through the physical copies first, and then we'll get into all the other ones. The first book that we're going to talk about is Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. Okay, this was actually one of my highly anticipated books to get into, and I got this book as a gift during Easter, and I was holding off so I could read it in June, just, you know, just for the vibe, just for the aesthetic, just for the feels. Finally read it, and y'all, I loved this book so much. When I tell y'all, I was reading this giggling and kicking and smiling and chuckling and just giddy, just blushing. I loved this book so much, y'all, like so much, okay? This book follows Noah and Sage, okay? This one is Noah, I believe. No, this one is Sage. Which one is Noah? Okay, yeah, this one is Noah. I was right the first time. Trust your intuition, bitch. I was right the first time. This one is Noah and this one is Sage, okay? What I loved about this book is both of the characters reminded me of me, okay? I saw myself in both of these characters, okay? It's like night and day, literally, okay? She's the happy-go-lucky, cheery one, and she's the like just grumpy pants all the time, right? This is a rivals to lovers romance. If you didn't know, now you know. But this is a rivals to lovers romance, okay? They knew each other in school once upon a time, and then they kind of grew apart. I think she ended up graduating first or whatever, and ended up working for this big time comic company, you know, doing artistry and all of the things. And then shortly after, she ends up graduating and she gets offered a job as well at the same place, okay? They are both talented artists, okay? They're talented artists. She has always held the torch. Sage has always held the torch, and Noah has always felt like she had to keep up. Sage knows that she carries the torch, right? But she also knows that Noah is just as good as she is. So it's like this rivalry of who's the best, who's going to be the best, who wants to be seen as the best, so on and so forth, right? It is so, y'all, it's so good. The banter between these two, hilarious, okay? Hilarious. I love both of them. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Sage is definitely my favorite. Sage is my favorite because I saw more of myself in her. But I did really fancy Noah because a lot of Noah's like self-doubt and her need for being a perfectionist and pushing herself so much to the point of like neglecting her own health and things of that nature. I relate to that because I've done that multiple times, you know, when you just love something so much, or when you know you got to get something done, or when you feel like you're responsible for something, you're always putting yourself and your needs on the back burner. So I related to her story. I related to her in those type of ways. When it came to Sage was just one of those people that knew she was the shit. Like, I know I'm the shit. I know I'm the best. I know I'm this. I know I'm that. But she also carries the baggage and the burden of having to take care of everybody that's around her, right? her family, whoever. She doesn't. She's the person. She's the strong one. Need I say more? She's the strong one, and everybody's always looking for her to be strong. Everybody's always looking for her to carry the torch, right? So it's just really, both of them have this rivalry with each other, because the one thing that they know they can lose themselves in, they feel like they will lose to each other, if that makes sense, right? Like, if she comes out on top, then what do I have left? If she comes out on top, then what do I have left? It's kind of like that. But the story was so cute, y'all. The banter, the flirting, when they finally crossed over from the rivals to the love, all of this ate down. Even the spice was, the spice was a little spicy. And not too much spice, maybe a little 2.5 chili pepper, but just enough spice to keep you intrigued. It was giving YA vibes, but not really YA. I don't know if that really makes sense, but if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't, whatever. But I really enjoyed this book, y'all. I think I rated this a 5-star, because I was just so giddy throughout this book from beginning to end. And the ending, y'all, was so stinking cute, y'all. Oh my God. The banter to the end. The banter to the end. I loved Noah and Sage down, from their rivalry to their lovers romance. It was just a good time, okay? Highly recommend this. If you haven't read it, definitely get into it. The next physical copy that I want to show y'all is For the Fans by Nyla K. All right. Okay. Now, it's been people on TikTok in the book talk community that has been forcing me, like, down my throat, please read For the Fans. Please read For the Fans. Please read For the Fans. Okay. Wanted me to read this so bad. I'm happy I did, y'all. It was definitely a good time. Now, my only negatives about this book is it's too fucking long. It's too long. Now, don't get it twisted. Book girlies and book guys, we all love a book with girth, all right? I love a thick book. It's not that thick books scare me, okay? The chapters in this book is too fucking long. It's too long. It's just too long, y'all. And as y'all know by now, if you've been here for a long time, or if you've just been, watching some of my most recent videos, y'all know I got a little bit of ADHD. I'm a little neurospicy, okay? With that being said, my focus, you know where I'm going with this. I have to feel like I'm doing something. I have to feel like I'm completing something. I have to feel like I'm accomplishing something, or I'm going to instinctively feel like I did nothing. While reading For the Fans, it just felt like I was getting nothing done, okay? The chapters they're just too fucking long. They're too long. Now, I tried to read this physical copy. I even went as far as downloading it on my Kindle, just to kind of try to give me a different, like, scenery, a different vibe, to make me feel as if, okay, maybe I can get through this. I even went and downloaded the Audible, y'all. That's just how long these chapters were. It was just so long. Now, that's my only negative about this book. I'm not gonna hold you. That's my only negative, is just the chapters were too long. So it took me forever to get through this fucking book. Now, there's only like 500 and something pages. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's nothing. When you a big dog in the reading community, that ain't shit. But when your chapters, when Kindle say one chapter is 1.5 hours long, baby, put your pencil down. Nyla, put your pen down, sis. Close your laptop. That's enough. I'm one of those people to where a book can have 80 chapters, and I'm going to read all 80 chapters as long as they're short. I just personally feel as if no chapter should be 20 plus pages long. For what? For what? For what reason? Why? Why are you doing that to me? You know what I'm saying? It's just no reason. Like, I would prefer reading a book that has 80 plus chapters, but the chapters are only like, maybe 10 pages long. Maybe 11. You could even do 12. But 20 plus, 25 plus pages long, it's no reason that I should be reading a chapter for like 40 minutes and then I'm stopping where I am to continue to see how many pages I have left, because the chapter is just that fucking long. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot. It was a lot, which is why I ended up downloading the Audible, because I was able to listen to it and not realize, you know, I didn't have the book in my hand counting the pages, or I didn't have the Kindle in my hand hitting the little button at the bottom trying to see how much longer I have. I was able to just listen through it and then not have to worry about anything because I'm occupying my time, you know, moving around, cleaning or whatever while I'm listening. So it didn't feel as if I wasn't getting the book done, right? It took me like a week and a half to read this book, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I know some people that read it that just like sat through it and they could fly through it no problem because the storyline is that fucking good, okay? But for me, like I like to feel like I'm doing something. It's no reason I've been reading this for 2 days and I'm only on chapter 6 now. What's going on? Well, I don't like that. Now, for the positives of this book, the storyline ate down, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no complaints about actually reading this book to the end. I don't have any complaints about that. The storyline was everything. Kyron and Avi, baby, loved them. Okay, I loved them. Now this is one of those like rival to lovers, stepbrother type tropes or whatever. So if you're not into that, it's all right. This might not be for you. This is also MM. Okay, so if you're not into that, this probably won't be for you. Either way it goes though, the storyline was so good. The banter between the two was so good, okay? They're both just figuring out their sexuality. It's just really the gist of it. I don't want to get into the storyline and tell you all the bits and pieces or whatever, but the gist of it is both of them just trying to find themselves and also figure out their sexuality. And this was just so good. It was so good. You got Kyron, he's just the grumpy pants. It's giving a little grumpy sunshine. I guess you could throw that trope in there too. It's giving a little grumpy sunshine because Kyron was definitely just grumpy. He had every right to be grumpy though. Read the book. He had every right to be grumpy, but he was just a little grumpy pants. And then you got Avi, who's like the little pothead and just happy-go-lucky, always smiling, you know, always joking around, having a good time, being optimistic about everything. And it was just a good time. Both of them, the banter, they hated each other since they saw each other. Like, they hated each other since their families got joined one another. They just could not, okay? But the transition from rivals to lovers, ooh. And it was definitely a slow burn. So if you into slow burns, definitely hop in it. But baby, once that burn got to burning, that don't really sound good to say this is a lot of sexual spicy stuff. Okay, let's take that back. Don't worry about the burn. The slow pace in this book was definitely worth it because once the momentum got to building, it was like, ooh. And once the storyline just kept going, it was like, ooh. This was very, very good. Just them trying to figure out their sexuality, trying to find themselves, and then their family ends up on hard times. Hence, you know, for the fans, they had this idea of coming up with an OnlyFans, and so they can make money and stay in school, whoop-de-whoop, and it just kind of goes on from there. So, y'all, I would definitely say give this book a go. I'm just warning you, the chapters are long, okay? That's just my only negative about this book is the chapters are just too fucking long, okay? But outside of that, it's worth the read, it's worth the listen. The book is good. I mean, I'm happy I have this, you know, as a trophy because it was that good. I would actually go and buy the book if I didn't have the book. I really enjoyed this. I think I gave this 4 stars, maybe a 4.5. It's just the chapters for me. That's my only negative. But outside of this, I ate it down, y'all. I definitely ate it down. In those spicy scenes, whew, I ain't know that's how y'all be getting down. Okay, hats off to you. Okay, my third physical copy is Tri-6 Venom by Penelope Douglas. I don't have too much to say about this book just yet because I am still reading this book. I haven't completed it yet, y'all. I haven't completed it. I am about 60% in, though. I started reading it on my Kindle because this week has just been very hectic, so I've been on the go a lot. So I just really been reading on my Kindle, but it's actually a decent book so far. It took me a minute to kind of get into it. I was a little bit confused about the storyline. I'm not gonna lie to you. In the beginning, I think the first couple of chapters, I kept falling asleep on it. It really wasn't piquing my interest like that. I did enjoy, well, I'm not gonna lie, I hate Clay. This book follows Clay and Liv. Liv is short for Olivia. I actually really, really like Olivia's character. Clay is, ugh. I'm currently in the percentage of the book to where they have crossed over from rivals to lovers, but I'm still not a fan of Clay. I'm not a fan of Clay. This is a bully romance, by the way, okay? This is a little bit of a bully romance. I'm not really a bully romance girly. I'm not gonna lie to you. Although For the Fans had a little bit of bullying in it, you know, Grumpy Sunshine, you expect the grumpy to be a grumpy pants. It wasn't too much bullying to where I was just like, oh God. But this has, Clay is a bully. Clay is a bully, and the way that she bullies, I'm not a fan of that. I know that's some people's, you know, cup of tea, because a lot of people are into the degrading kink and things like that. Me personally, I'm a pour into me. I'm a affirmations, talk you through it type of girl, okay? Like, let me make you feel good and talk you through it, or talk me through it, you know? I'm not one, I don't know, I just can't get with the, like, I'm gonna tear you down. I don't know. It's just not me. I'm an affirmations girly, right? So, like, and it's no judgment to anybody that does love that. Everybody got their own kinks, right? But the bully thing, I was never one for bullies. Like, I was never one for bully. I don't like bullying. I don't like people being bullied, okay? It's just not me. But either way it goes, Clay was, the type of shit Clay does in this book, to beat her ass is how I feel. Beat her ass. But it's a decent read so far. I really can't tell y'all what my rating is yet, because I haven't finished it. Right now, I'm sitting at maybe like a 3.5, but the storyline is pretty good. I do like Penelope Douglas as a writer. Her writing style is very, very easy and it's very easy to read and quick pace, fast pace. So it's keeping me intrigued. The way that she writes her stories is keeping me intrigued. It just took me a little minute to get in it because I was a little confused about the storyline in the beginning. But now that I kind of have an understanding of what's going on, it's getting there. So I might be back with, you know, how I feel about this book later. Right now, I'm sitting at like a 3.5. All the other books that I read, I either read on Kindle or I listened to it on Audible. The first book that I read on Kindle was The Gay Best Friend by Nicholas. Y'all know I couldn't pronounce this man's name the first time I read it, so I'm not even going to try. But I read this. Y'all, when I first finished the book, I rated it a 4. But now that I've sat with it, I feel like I'm going to drop it down. I'm not going to lie to you. I might drop it down to like a 3.5, maybe a 3-star. Reason being is because I enjoyed the book, okay? Don't get me wrong. The book was actually really good. It's the characters that irritated the fuck out of me, okay? The storyline was really, really good. The plot of the book was really, really good. The mess, that book was so messy, y'all. The mess in that book was really, really good. But the characters, I don't think it was one character in that book that I fucking liked. All of them were annoying in their own way, okay? The main character, y'all, and I'm just speaking because I don't remember the names. This was one of the first books that I read for this TBR, so I don't remember the names. I don't read too much in between time, and it's not a book that actually stuck with me. I don't remember the character's name. Dom, I think was his name. Was his name Dom? I think his name was Dom. I could be wrong. He was such a whiny, entitled ass little boy. Like, oh my goodness, he was so aggravating, y'all. He was so aggravating, but I had a soft spot for him because he was who the story was about. And the things that was happening to him, the way it was like one of those stories to where you know that you're gay, right? And it opened my eyes because, okay, I'm rambling. Let me kind of dial it back. The ADHD is kicking in. Let me dial it back and let me start over. The Gay Best Friend opened my eyes to some of the things that the gay community goes through. Okay, now me being a bisexual woman, I don't really have to deal with what the men go through because hello, I'm not a man. But I do understand some of the things that come with dating women with me being a woman. So it kind of opened my eyes to the opposite side of things when it's the men, right? And one of the things that they deal with is having to be in the closet because you're dealing with, you know, hyper masculinity. And some of the masculine men that are gay, are bisexual, they aren't out, right? And everybody comes out in their own time frame, and there's reasons why they're not coming out and things like that, especially with being a man. You know, it's not as acceptable as it is for women. So being a gay man, knowing that you're gay, embracing your gayness, and constantly dealing with closeted men, that was kind of an eye opener because it kind of puts you in this energy of like, am I even good enough? Like, why don't you want me out in the open? Why don't you want to deal with me out in the open? You keep coming to me, you keep running to me behind closed doors. Like, I'm better than that, you know? And that was kind of Dom's storyline with a lot of his exes and a lot of the people that he was encountering and things like that. It just always happened to be hidden in the shadows. And I kind of felt for him as a character, right? Although he was whiny and entitled and all of the things, like he was a very aggravating character, I did empathize with what he was dealing with. Now, as for his other characters, his two best friends wasn't worth a damn. I'm sorry. They were both selfish. They were both entitled as well. They were both annoying. They were both abusive in a way as well. Very abusive in like emotionally abusive is what I will say. They were both emotionally abusive to him in different ways. And it's like he just really couldn't be himself because your best friends, both of your best friends are getting married to each other. So it's like when you're around the female, you're overly, you know, what's the word? Flamboyant, right? But then when you're with your man best friend, you're trying to fit in the masculine way, right? You don't want to be flamboyant. You still want to show up like you're a man, although you're gay. So it was just watching him like navigate life, not only through his love life, but also through his best friends. It was just, it made me, I just really empathized with him. Okay. Like I said, it was a good storyline, y'all. The storyline was good. The drama was insane. Okay. The drama in this book was wild. It was definitely a good read. It was worth the read. The only reason I feel like I'm going to drop it is just because I just couldn't connect with any of the characters. Like, I empathized with a lot of the characters, but the characters in this book annoyed. There was not one character that I actually liked. Not one. I hated them all. I hated them all for different reasons. So that's the only reason this book is like a 3.5 to me. But a 3.5 is good because it was worth the read. I loved it. Would I recommend it? Yes. Is it something that I'll probably read again? No. Is it something that I'm going to like continuously think about until the end of time? Probably not. But it was definitely a good read and it was worth it. So that was actually my only Kindle read. I thought I read 2 on Kindle, but it was only that one. The rest of the books that I read, so to speak, is Audible. So I listened to them, didn't read them, you know, I listened to them. And no judgment in these comments because Audibles is reading. Don't get it twisted. And don't sleep on Audibles because who doesn't want to listen to a book and do other things? If I got lifing and I got things I got to get done, but I really want to read, that's when Audibles come into play. Because I want to read a book, but I can't. So I'm going to listen to it while I do my daily duties. It's a win-win situation for me. Either way it goes. The next 3 books I actually listened to on Audible. The first one that I listened to was Cleat Cute, yes. I actually enjoyed this book, y'all. I enjoyed it. I don't remember the characters. Not going to lie to you. This was also another rivals to lovers type of situation. And I enjoyed the banter between both of the girls. Both of them played, what did they play? Soccer? Lacrosse? I think it was soccer. I think they played soccer. And you have the captain of the team and then you have a newbie that just got put on the team. And the newbie is, I think this is giving a little Grumpy Sunshine as well, because the newbie is just out there, outspoken, giddy, happy, jolly. Everybody loves her. And then the captain of the team is more of just a very quiet, reserved, you know, type of individual. So it's like opposites attract, of course. And the banter with them was funny. It was definitely funny. It was giving. The spice was spicy, y'all. I wasn't expecting this book to be as spicy as it was. What I did like about this book, though, is the captain of the team was giving. Both of these girls was femmes, okay? They were femmes, but the captain of the team was given more of like a masculine. She carried more masculine energy, although she was very comfortable in her feminine. She wasn't, she wasn't like a stud or anything like that. She was full blown femme, but she operated more in a masculine type of energy. Whereas the other girl was definitely just, femme through and through. What I enjoyed about this was the captain was giving like masculine dominance, whoop-de-whoop. But behind closed doors, sis was folding, okay? Behind closed doors, little mama over here, the femme, was giving it all she had, like, I'm taking care of you, I'm dominating you, I'm aggressive with you type of energy. And her whole thing of that was like, you're always taking care of everybody else. It's very similar to the Outdrawn book, because that's how it was too. You're always taking care of everybody else, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of you. You take care of me outside, when we're out on the field, when we going out, when we doing what we doing, whatever. You're always taking care of me. You big stepping, But behind closed doors, it's my turn. You relax. You relax. You get comfortable. I'm going to put in the work. And I was just like, oh. Ate it down, y'all. I ate it down. It was a cute story. It definitely was a cute story. I enjoyed that listen. I had to stop my duties every now and then when things was happening, because I was just like, oh my goodness. But it was a cute read. The next book that I listened to was Imogen, obviously, and I still don't know how to pronounce the author's name, so I'm gonna make sure it's up there so y'all can see it. Now, okay, y'all. I actually DNF'd this book. I know. I DNF'd this one, y'all. I just could not get into it. I couldn't get into it. And I don't know. It's very possible that it's because I was listening to it in Audible. And the reason why I say that is because I believe this book was third person. It was written in third person. Usually when I'm listening to Audibles and it's like, if it's in first person, of course it's easier to follow. But when it's in third person, sometimes I'm not really a big fan of third person. I read third person books and listen to third person books, but it depends on how it's written, on how my brain will, go with the information that is being given. And for whatever reason, my brain was just rejecting this book. Like, I don't know if it was the person that narrated the book. I don't know if it's because of how the book may have been written, and that's, of course, however it's written is how it has to get read in order for you to even listen to it. I don't know, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. I still want to give it a chance, though. I think I only rated it. I didn't rate it a 1, y'all. I didn't rate it a 1 because I didn't feel like that would have been fair, because I felt like, I don't know, y'all. I just couldn't. And it sucks because this is actually one of the books that I really, really, really wanted to read. This is one of the first Sapphic books that I ran across, and I put it on my list because I was really interested in getting into it. And I was just very disappointed that I couldn't get into it. So I don't think I'm going to DNF it for life. I think this might be a book that I actually need to read. This isn't something that I can listen to in order for me to kind of get into what's going on. I can't listen to it. I can't because it's a bore. It's a bore for me on Audible. So I can't listen to it. I'm kind of upset that I wasted an Audible credit for it. I'm not going to lie. But I do want to give it another shot. So I'm going to try to read it on Kindle. I don't want to buy it because I'm going to be pissed if I buy it and I hate it. Like, it's still DNF for me. So I'm going to wait for it to become available again on Kindle. And then I'm going to try to give it another go. But right now, it's just a DNF. I couldn't do it. Y'all. The next book that I listened to on Audible is Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding. Y'all, so you see I'm already smiling. I ate this book down. I listened to it on Audible, but I ate this book down, up, no crumbs left behind, okay? It was so good. I never read a book like this before. Basically, what this is all about is Devon and Chris are on a game show. Okay. And they have to convince their family and friends that they are in love and they're about to get married, right? In a 6-week time frame. That's the limit. You have to try to convince everyone around you like this love that you have is the real deal, Holyfield. You have Devon, who doesn't, and all of this is on a blurb, y'all, so I'm not spilling the tea, but Devon is still in the closet. So she's using this game show as a way to come out, not only to her family and friends, but to the world as a whole, because she feels like if she comes out to the world, ain't nothing nobody could do about that. Like, it's no going back. Once she put herself on the game show, you don't have a choice but to come out now, because it's going to come out. So you have to come out. So that was her whole thought process or mindset into going into the game show. Chris, on the other hand, she's going into the game show because she really want to find love. Which is just so ass backwards, because it's not one of those type of shows. Like, you're able to, it reminds me of, what's that little love show on Netflix that people be talking about, Love is Blind or something like that. You have an option to really get married at the end if you want, but a lot of people are only coming on the show for the money. So they're coming into cahoots with one another, knowing that, okay, we really not about to be together. We in it for the money. We only here to try to trick our family and friends into believing this is real so we can take the money at the end, right? Not everybody's actually coming on this show to be like, ooh, I'm getting married. Like, no. So Chris is coming on because she really wants to find the love of her life. Devon is coming on because she really wants everybody to know, okay, you know what? I'm grown and I'm gay. Is basically what it is. I've never read a book like this before. Game show related, I've never read anything like this before. It was really, really good. It was really, really funny. I laughed a lot listening to this book. The Audible, I actually enjoyed the Audible. I did see some of the reviews where some people did not. They were not a fan of, because I think it was a lot of Spanish in there too. Chris's family, I think they were Hispanic. A lot of Spanish, being spoken and things like that. And a lot of people were not happy with the way that the Spanish was being Spanished or whatever. But either way it goes, I actually really enjoyed this book, so much so that I do want to get the physical copy to put on my shelf, because it was really that good to me. I think I gave this book a 5 stars just because I've never read anything like this before. It kept my attention. It was cute. It was funny. It was giving. And it was just so, I don't know, y'all. It just made me so giddy. I loved it. If you're not into like those, what do you call it, insta love type of stories, this probably won't be for you. Okay, it might not be for you because it's giving insta love. It's very insta lovey. All right, so if that's not a trope that you're into, you might not be interested. But I did enjoy this book, y'all. Last but not least on my list is not a Sapphic read. However, I did get chosen to read an arc for this month. And being that I did read it this month, and this is a June monthly wrap up, I'm gonna just throw it in, okay? So the arc that I read is All Your Bloody Lies by M.L. Burns. It's not out yet. I can't remember when it's actually going to come out, but it follows a succubus and a vampire. It's dual POV, dark romance, I guess romanticy, because vampire, succubus. The vampire is like super duper like obsessive, it's one of those tropes. He's very obsessive. He's very like touch her, you die type of ordeal and situation. So yeah, I can't remember when this book comes out, y'all. I'm not entirely sure, but I wanted to at least add it to this because, hey, I read it. So why not? I was supposed to read 8 books for this particular month. I only read 6 of those books, plus the arc, which would make it 7. But yeah, I only read 6 of the 8 books that I initially spoke on. So not too shabby, not bad at all. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I did what I could do. Well, actually, I only read 5 because I haven't finished. What book is that I'm still reading? Tri-6 Venom. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm going to count it because more than likely I'm going to be done with it today, once I finish doing everything else I have to do. But yeah, y'all, that's all I have. I don't know what I'm going to read for the month of July. The first week of July is kind of a hectic month. My son's birthday is coming up on Friday, and I'm trying to get myself on a decent morning schedule so I can get, get back into the flow of doing my content and going to the gym and doing my reading vlogs and things like that, to give y'all more of what y'all love while simultaneously getting my life together so I can do what it is that I love. So I don't really have a TBR for July. I'm probably going to wing it, which is probably a really fucking bad idea because anytime I wing it, I just be all over the fucking place. But we're going to see. I do have an arc that I have to read this month anyway, and it has to be read by the 12th. So we'll see. I'll figure it out, y'all. And whatever I read, I'll be back next month with a monthly wrap up for you, okay? But with all that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this type of content, please let me know in the comments. If you made it all the way to the end, please drop 3 blue hearts in the comments for me. Let me know that you love this type of content so I can continue to push out more of this content for y'all, okay? I love y'all. I will catch y'all in the next video, and happy reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.